Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another replay analysis. It's been a while since I've actually even done one of these. Been a bit busy lately, so I haven't been able to grab them all, and we've seemed to be amassing more and more coaches, so my role isn't as hefty anymore. I have a lot more weight taken off my shoulders, but anyways, this is actually another replay sent in by someone that I've already seen before, Jronge94, I believe. I'm just gonna go ahead and call him Jron, but they're doing a 1v1 around Silver 2, Silver 3, I think. I don't remember what exactly they said about the game, but it was something to that effect, so let's go right back to the start here. Fairly neutral kickoff. One thing that I can just say about kickoffs in general is, I think something that I've said before, but you will generally want to try to hit the middle of the ball so that you're able to control where it goes. And Johnny Boy has a really good video for that. This is an interesting looking play. I kind of think that should have been a goal before Aries was in a bad position on the first center. It's not bad, just waiting. Good challenge to go for that as it came off the wall. And good job avoiding the demo. He's got a dribble attempt here. When you're going for a dribble, whether it be a bounce dribble or just regular dribble, it's often best 9 out of 10 times to take off ball cam. If you're going to use ball cam to dribble, usually you want to stay to the side of the ball just to see if your opponent is encroaching on you or whatever, but generally to keep control of the ball, having ball cam off is the best. That was a good job to rush back and be able to stop the defensive. That touch off the wall where it was bouncing, I think they could have been able to control that and dribble it more. And that shot was a good idea to try to pop it over him because they were just kind of sitting there. This is a really weird play that I don't really understand. I'll try to go through it as much as I can, but this is just a strange one. So, back here, off the bounce, right there, or right here, rather, generally speaking, it would be better to go towards the ball again, bounce it up, and then either, depending on how the goalie reacts, like if he's charging you, or if he just kind of sits there, to hit the ball in the air or let it bounce again and then try to take a power shot. But so what happens here, it is a good use of ball cam to see what he's doing, but it's just a really weird situation. So we'll go from Aries here. I don't know if Aries had boost, but right about here, Aries needs to go for this challenge. Yeah, it seems like they didn't have boost. Even if they don't have boost, giving your opponent that much time to take a shot is often going to result in a goal. That was just a really poor play by Orange there. Not a bad kickoff here. Seems like Orange is going for the ball. One thing that I noticed during this play in particular is notice how they missed I think 5 small boost pads. They do end up getting the goal, but it was kind of like a rush headfirst tactic. You want to try to get as many of the little boost pads as you can, because sometimes you're not going to be able to go and get that 100 boost. So it's better to pick up what you can when you have the opportunity to. Again, going for a dribble. It would have been better to, again, try to start a bounce dribble, or hook your car around the ball to put it on your hood to be able to get a flick in. Almost a really bad position there. I believe, yeah, so it would have been a better idea to challenge right about there instead of, I guess this kind of goes back against what I was saying earlier about grabbing boost, but they shouldn't have turned and tried to grab boost because the boost kind of just spawned, I think, maybe. And they ended up really taking themselves away from the ball, giving their opponent a much better opportunity. That was a good try there, just to throw it up the curve, and basically what he tried to do, his opponent was able to do At this level, being able to throw it up high and like around the curve, especially in ones, most people probably aren't going to be able to defend that, but it's a pretty easy shot, I think, for most people to make now with mechanical skill. But I want to go back right here. So when you're defending, you don't want to just back yourself up into the goal like this. You want to, let's see where you're at. As you're coming back, you want to like swing out to the side of the goal and then face your car towards the corner. Because theoretically, as this ball goes around the curve, you see what it does, and then aerial up to it to put it back to the corner, put it behind you, whatever, to get it out of danger, rather than just kind of sitting like a deer in the headlights, sitting in that, allowing your opponent to get the free open shot there. Another pretty neutral kickoff. One thing about Jronge that I'm noticing is that the kickoffs seem to be pretty solid. They're not losing any of them really badly or anything like that. Again, turn off ball cam to try and dribble and get the car more, or get the ball more like controlled on your car rather than just kind of in front of it or around it. But really try to take control of it and move it at will. Kind of like what he just did, so that was actually a really nice dribble from Aries here. Even though Aries isn't like taking off ball cam here, he basically just like stayed really close to the ball, but hooked it around and waited for Jronge to make a move. I don't know if they really needed that boost, because it put them in a really poor position. So instead of grabbing boost right there, because you're basically moving upfield while the ball is going towards your net, it would have been better to, if you really needed boost, to swing around and grab this boost and then probably go up on the wall to try and defend this. Because then you would have been able to clear that out over the top rather than backing up on the ramp or on the lip and then trying to defend that. Seems like the defending part and knowing when, there we go, my English is terrible. Knowing when to go for boost seems to be a bit of a problem rather than like boost management for the most part. It's kind of an awkward play. It was a good idea to challenge, just not the best execution. It could have kept that under more control rather than just hitting it back into their side. That hit wasn't necessary. Once that ball starts going over you, just retreat and go back and get boost. Put yourself in a better position to defend. That's a good position to start from goal from. He really didn't get a good shot, so again, just relying a bit too much on ball cam here. That was a really nice bounce dribble though. This is what I was talking about earlier. And just like trying not just to like carry the ball on the ground so much, but if you have the opportunity to pop it up, because that gives you a much better shot. Man, I'm really bad at English right now. Get you a much better shot opportunity than just like keeping it nailed to your car on the ground. They really didn't need to push back so far. It would have been okay to stay at mid because their opponent had moved back. Had a little bit more time to set up the shot since they had an open goal there, but that was a good effort. It's a very good idea to stay patient on that and not just dive into it because he was kind of flopping around. Only critique there would just be better shot placement, which is something you just work on with time and practice. Good boost grab. Leaving the ball like that isn't necessarily the best idea. If you feel confident enough in yourself and don't give them a ton of space, then it's okay, but yeah, that ending play there was a bit yeah, since he was backwards, it would have been better just to like throw it up around the left corner there. I found myself using hand gestures and then realized that they're not going to show up. But so that's the match there. Go back to the beginning real quick. So the thing that I noticed the most was taking yourself out of position when the opponent is on attack, leaving the ball when it wasn't necessary to leave it, and just being in a poor position to defend the opponent's attack. I think, did I say that already? I might have said that already, I don't know. It's a little late, so I'm kind of tired, but I think those were the things that I noticed the most. Specifically more the defending part. And then there were some things in regards to like dribbles and whatnot. But as a, I believe, like silver 3, I don't expect you to be like pashy or anything and be able to dribble around them super well. It's just something to keep in mind and to work on if, well, just in general gameplay. And if you're going to keep doing ones, it's having the ability to dribble and have a lot of good ground play is super important, and it's also really helpful in 2s as well, since it's a much slower game, well, slower in comparison to 3v3s, which is basically just like touch ball all the time, never let it stop. So I think that's pretty much everything that I saw and wanted to touch on, so hopefully this was helpful in some way and will help others improve. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.